Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bowie State Sports Talk. I am your host, Jalen Sims, and this is where I talk about Bowie State sports, sports news, sports recap, upcoming events, things of that nature. We got a jam-packed episode today, so let's get right into it. The question of the day is, what do y'all think the most unbreakable sports record ever is? It can be a team record, an individual record, a family record, a duo record, anything sports related record that's going to be unbreakable. I got to go with the Curry family 3-point record. Dale, Seth, and Steph Curry combined for 5,323 threes made and counting in their careers. Because Steph Curry and Seth are still playing, so that's and counting. I think that's never being touched. I'm sorry. I think the closest that we're going to have to that is potentially Bryce James, LeBron James, and Bronny James. That's only if Bryce and Bronny come into the league with their game starters on 100, making 300 threes each season. Because right now, LeBron is at like 2,000 threes by himself. So that they're like 3,000 behind the Curry family. So unless Bronny and Bryce come in the league with the game starters on 100, not missing no threes, nobody catching that record. Now, the runner up for that record for me, I saw this Tiger Woods was like number one overall, like ranked number one for the golf for like 600 weeks in his career and maybe like 200 consecutive weeks. That's crazy. He was ranked number one for 600 weeks of his career and like 200 consecutive weeks back to back to back. He was ranked number one. Let's see. So one person in the chat said undefeated football season games have been added to the undefeated football season games have been added to the season. Not sure what you mean by that. I think he's talking about the undefeated Dolphins back in like the 70s or something. I think he's saying that's going to be undefeated. I think he requested joining live. Let me. For those that's watching YouTube, I'm also on Instagram Live. And
hey man,
you in here?
I say undefeated
What's up?
football NFL seasons because the games are now longer. Back in the year, Dolphins didn't have as many games to go through this. That's all.
I think that can be broken. Yeah. Like for example, I believe that the Eagles could have won undefeated season if Jalen Hurts. Well, they lost. I mean, they lost in Super Bowl, so that's kind of canceled. But if Jalen Hurts didn't get hurt, I believe the Eagles would have been undefeated in the regular season. And that Super Bowl was crazy. I'm gonna talk about that a little later. But I think that can be breakable. Like I think a team can go undefeated in the season, even though there's more games in the season now. I still think a great team can go undefeated.
You ain't
all the
seen
way.
nobody do that. I mean,
But
New England was the last closest team, and then this year, even Jalen Hurts and them got off to a good start, but they still managed to lose 4 now.
well, yeah, like I believe that they didn't lose a game when Hurts was healthy. Well, maybe one game, but I think that's a good answer. I do think that's breakable though. My answer was the Curry family who could buy for like 5,000 threes. No other family touching that. And Tiger Woods, who was ranked number one for like 600 weeks in his career.
All right, continue with your show.
But you can also see me. Yeah, you all can send me your answers at on Instagram at __ Big Dog J or on Twitter at _ Big Dog J on Twitter. But before we get into BSU basketball, the recap, the 2023 CIAA for Life Division Men's 2 basketball and Division 2 Women's Basketball Conference Tournament will be held in Baltimore, Maryland for the second year in a row. The tournament is from February 21st to 25th. Bowie State men's team is looking for their first championship since 2017, while the women's team is looking for their first since 1999. That was their three-peat year, as they won in 97, 98, and 99. Also, the 2023 HBCU Legacy Bowl is 100 players selected from 38 HBCUs. 6 players were chosen from Bowie State. Only one college out of the other 37 had more players selected, as they had 7. Go Bulldogs, yes sir. Like I said, that's the second most players selected. They had 6 players selected, while one other school had 7 players selected. Hey, that's impressive. All right, now on to Bowie State basketball. Bowie's women's basketball team is currently 12-9 on the season. as they got a W versus Elizabeth City State. Against Elizabeth City State, the Bulldogs had a good first quarter as they won that quarter 14-10. The Bulldogs' good first quarter continued over to the second quarter as they started it by going on an 8-2 run. They then took a 22-12 lead. Then the Vikings went on their own run to make the score 27-25 at halftime. Sanaya Jackson had a magnificent first half. She did great things that you don't see pop up on the stat sheet, such as defending 2-on-1 fast breaks well, contesting jump shooters, making them air ball. That's what she did things that you will see on the stat sheet. She had 9 points and shot 4 for 6 from the field, 1 block, and 4 offensive rebounds. That led to second chance points. Now, I'm not going to lie. She reminded me of myself in my prime. I was playing basketball, playing center. We both was like the big people on the court. She played center. And we was hustling the hardest because she was out there hustling. Big people on the court, hustling the hardest. Remind me of myself when I was in my prime. I miss those days, man. But the third quarter was a hard-fought one as the Bulldogs led 37-36 at the end of the third quarter. Even though Jackson didn't play in the fourth quarter, the Bulldogs still won this game. Jackson played like 30 seconds in the fourth quarter, then went to the bench. Not sure if she was hurt and she tried to force herself to play or what, but she only played like 30 seconds and she went back to the bench. But like I said, the Bulldogs still held on to win. They went on a nice run to extend the lead 53-46 with 2 minutes left in the game. That run basically put the game away with the final score I had to put the final score, but that run put the game away as they got the W. Jackson was dominant in the paint, both offensively and defensively. I'm not going to lie. After watching that game, I wonder if her birth certificate say Sienna O'Neal. She was out there playing like Shaquille O'Neal. So I think her last name might be O'Neal, but she might be having it, with all due respect. But it wasn't only her that was going hard. It was the whole team. As the Vikings had a taller player, but the Bulldogs had more heart. They had the heart over height mindset. Every time the Bulldogs won the rebound, if the Bulldogs won the rebound count, every time there's a loose ball from a rebound, the Bulldogs hustle to get that rebound. Or if there's a loose ball from getting a steal, they hustle to get that steal. So they had the heart over mindset this game, and that won them the game, to be honest. Lots of times the Bulldogs didn't get rebound. They ended up causing the jump ball because they was like grabbing the ball from the player, and they was like tug of war. Caused the jump ball, and the Bulldogs got the ball. So that heart over height mindset got them to dub this game. And look, I don't want to sound like a hater or jinx anything because I like her game. I'm kind of worried about Anna Harris. Like, the way she put her body on the line kind of worries me. Because every time she go up for a contact layup, she like fall hard to the ground. Because she be getting up there, like she be jumping. That's when she just fall like straight down to the ground. Now, like I said, I don't want to jinx anything. But I'm kind of worried about her. Or like when she go up high for a block, if she land kind of awkwardly, I'd be worried. But like I said, I love her game, man. Like, she don't take no threes, really. She's an inside person, free throws, and mid-range. I like it. The Bulldogs also played against Virginia Union and lost 69-51. In the second quarter, this game got out of hand as the Bulldogs got outscored 26-11 and went to halftime trailing 42-25. In the second half, Virginia kept on going on little 4-0 runs, 6-0 runs, 8-0 runs. The Bulldogs will score 2 points to put it into the run, but then Virginia would go on and run again, another 4-0 run, another 6-0 run. The Bulldogs would score 2 points, then Virginia going on another run. That's how it was. As in the second half, they got outscored. And in the second half, the first half was when Virginia kept going on runs, and Bulldogs scored 2 points. They went on another run. Bulldogs scored 2 points. In the second half, it was a close game as both teams scored 26. Like I said, the game was already out of hand. The final game, Bowie State got 2 more games remaining for this season. They got a game on Wednesday against Virginia State and on Saturday against Lincoln. Then on the following Wednesday, that's when the CIAA tournament starts, which I'll talk to you about that next Monday. We see the matchups potentially. The men's basketball team is currently 6-20 as they lost to Elizabeth City State and Virginia Union this week or last week. Now, it was a neck-and-neck game all game versus Elizabeth City. The game came down to the final play where the Bulldogs had 2 chances to win or tie the game. With 5 seconds left, Anthony Carpenter took a wide-open 3 for the win. He missed. If I say wide open, I mean like wide open, like open as open. And he missed. Joel Webb got the rebound from his missed 3, did a putback, he missed the putback layup. The final score was 63-65. Quentin Drayton led the Bulldogs in that game with 18 points. Right there behind him was Joel Webb, who had 16 points. He could have also had 18 points if he made that putback layup to send the game to overtime. But look, who's counting? But what really lost the Bulldogs that game was the lack of scoring. Four players from the Vikings scored double-digit points, while only 2 players from the Bulldogs scored double-digit points. The Bulldogs shot terrible from the free throw line, as Caleb was 1 for 4, Amir was 1 for 4, other players were like 1 for 2. They lost their next game 65-76 against Virginia Union. I know this shows where I'm mainly talking about the Bulldogs, but I get props is due. A player from Virginia Union, Robert, scored 33 points in that game versus Bowie State. That's his 3rd time this season scoring 33 points. He leads the CIAA in scoring as he averages 20.5 points per game. And what makes it more impressive is that he hasn't taken a single 3 this season. All his points came from inside the arc. But back to the regular game. The Bulldogs had a good first half as they had their 37-35 lead at halftime, which was thanks to a 14-0 run that they had. In the first half, it was basically a battle against Quentin and Roberts. As Quentin had 15 points for the Bulldogs, while Robert had 13 points for Virginia. Then in the second half, Quentin got tired as Robert got hot. Quentin scored 6 points as Robert scored 20 points in the second half. The Bulldogs got outscored 41-28 in the second half. So that's really what lost in that game. The Bulldogs got 2 more games left this season. They got Wednesday against Virginia State and Saturday against Lincoln, just like the Lady Bulldogs. Then they will be off to Baltimore for the CIAA tournament. The softball team was supposed to have their season opener yesterday, but due to inclement weather, it was postponed. The bowling team is back in action this weekend for the CIAA Roundup. They're trying to keep their 24-game win streak alive. So that is it for today's show. Let me see if anybody answered the question of the day. Nope, just my pops. That's it. That's it for today's episode of Bowie State Sports Talk. I've been your host, Jalen Sims. Thank you for listening to the WBSU Radio. Now it's time for the after show, the best part of the podcast, if you ask me. But I'm going to start with first. Oh, yeah. So a few months ago, Kevin Durant donated like some money to Bowie State. I believe it was $500K. I feel like with some of that money Kevin Durant donated, Bowie State should have he donated to Bowie State Athletics. Bowie State should have used some of that money to build like a replay booth, because these referees be missing some calls, man. Be making the wrong calls, and nobody can challenge it because we don't got a replay booth. I feel like we should have built a replay booth in the AC Jordan Arena. Some of these calls be very bogus. Now I get it. Being a ref is not easy. Being a ref is hard, but it's your job. Come on, you can't miss too many travels, you can't be miscalling too many fouls or missing too many fouls. Come on now. But speaking of refs, for those of you that don't know, in the Super Bowl, the refs threw a flag late in the fourth quarter yesterday in the Super Bowl that basically decided the outcome of it. And fans were mad. But look, the same fans that are mad that the ref made the right call are mad that the ref didn't make the right call in the Boston Celtics versus LA Lakers game a few weeks ago. When Jason Tatum fouled LeBron James, the ref didn't call it. So they got mad that the ref didn't make the correct call that game, but they got mad that the ref made the correct call in the Super Bowl, right? That's when they were also mad that the ref did not throw the flag a few years ago, Saints versus Rams. But they were mad that the refs did throw the flags yesterday. So when refs do their job, they throw a flag or call a foul. Y'all say, oh, the refs think that we're here for them. The refs are soft, that they need to let the players play, et cetera, et cetera. When they don't do their job, they don't throw a flag or they don't call a foul, y'all say, oh, refs need to be given a post-game interview. They need to be fined. They need to be fired, et cetera, et cetera. What do y'all want them to do? Y'all want them to do their jobs or don't do their jobs? Because I'm confused. I'm lost in the sauce. But look, hey, that's not here nor there. I said the Chiefs are going to win that game, but I wanted the Eagles to win that game because my barber is an Eagles fan, and the last thing I need for that man to be mad when he cut my hair even if he's not mad at me, I don't need that man to be mad when he come out here. So since his Eagles lost, no, I'm not gonna get a haircut I'm not gonna get a haircut for like a good 2 weeks. Hopefully he's cooled down in 2 weeks. Hopefully, cause that's a big L, man. But Rihanna did her thing yesterday, respectfully, and she was pregnant, which made her the first person to do the Super Bowl halftime while pregnant. So congrats to her on another baby. And she did her thing, like I said. But with all due respect, Bruno Mars still got the best halftime performance. Better than Michael Jackson, Prince, Beyonce, Justin Timberlake, 50 Cent, and you name it. You name it. This Trish Steamer is going to a pop versus battle soon, where you pretty much say like 16 of the best pop artists ever, and put them head to head, right? He takes 16 pop artists and like 16 fans to represent each artist. That's when it's like 3 songs per round, and the fans in the chat of the Trish Steam vote. So for example, he did R&B like 2 weeks ago. I'm gonna do rap though. So let's say Montana 300 and Lil Wayne go at it. The Montana 300 fan plays Chirac. The Lil Wayne fan plays Love Me. The chat vote which song's better. Let's say the chat says Chirac is better, right? So Montana's up 1-0 for the next one. Montana fan play Undertaker, while the Lil Wayne fan play 6 foot 7 foot. The chat votes for 6 foot 7 foot. The score is now 1-1, right? It's tied up. Now the third round is the final round. It's like the tiebreaker or whatever. Whoever wins going to round 2. So for the third round, the Montana fan plays "Killing with the Sauce," while the Lil Wayne fan plays "A Milli." The fans in the chat, but for Montana going to round 2, Lil Wayne's eliminated. But the thing is that the same song that the Montana fan played in round 1, he can't play in round 2 or round 3 or round 4, right? So he about to do one, but he about to do that same thing, but with pop. So how about that? At least, so I think, out of all honesty, Bruno Mars should win our tournament, right? Because Bruno Mars got hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. Yeah, MJ might be unpopular, but Bruno Mars music better. Argue with your family, not me. Like Grenade, better than any Michael Jackson song. When I Was Your Man, better than any Michael Jackson song. What else? Marry You, better than any Michael Jackson song. I can go on and on and on. So with all due respect to MJ, Bruno Mars' bag is deeper than any pop artist. Simple. What else I got to talk about? Oh, Kevin Durant joined the Suns. Who's surprised? Another super team. I'm surprised. It's like I don't know if I remember, like a few years ago, like 3 seasons straight, everybody said, "Oh, send to the end of the season because it's gonna be Lakers and Nets in the finals." Those like the 2 super teams in the NBA, right? And we was all wrong for those 3 seasons. So I need everybody to once again to say, "Oh, send to the end of the season. It's gonna be Suns and somebody from the East." Because I don't want the Suns to make it to the finals. I don't. Because I'm playing for Chris Paul and Kevin Durant downfall. I don't mean downfall as like injury or something like that. I mean downfall as like I just want them to lose. Because Kevin Durant going to the NBA with the super team stuff, like go win the championship by yourself. How about that? You got my respect. If for Chris Paul, he couldn't win a championship with the Clippers, so I don't want him to win with anybody else. Just simple as that. But man, 2016. That really was the best year ever. We had the halftime performance with Beyonce and Bruno Mars. We had the dunk contest with Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. We had the best 2K ever, NBA 2K16. We had the 3-1 lead come back from the Cleveland Cavaliers, the GOAT James. But we had some good music back then too. I was young. I wasn't paying no bills. I didn't have to work. Man, take me back. That was really the best year ever. But look, as you all know, I asked a question the other day, every day. I'm like, am I not recording? Oh, that's bogus. I wasn't recording on my laptop. Dang. Well, as you all know, I'm gonna record this part. As you all know, I asked a question the other day, like every podcast or whatever. But I'm gonna start asking my question of the day for next week at the end, so y'all can answer it. I'm posting it online. So my question of the day for next week is, what do y'all think the DMV national anthem is? Now, I'm not somebody who go to parties really, so don't take what I say seriously. But for the few events that I went to, Beautiful Guns and Bells got like literally everybody turned up. Everybody was rapping it word for word, bar for bar. It's a short song, so it matches y'all short attention span. Like no other song that the DJ play by DMV artists get the crowd that hype. So where the rapper pop out, don't get the crowd that hype. What else? Shaq from DMV. That's what he is. What's that Shaq Lee song? I got a white girl, something. That song to get the crowd hype. But when he had that Guns and Bells, everybody be on their feet, jumping, rapping word for word. So I think the DMV national anthem song is Beautiful Guns and Bells. Let me know what y'all think down below. Hey, that's going on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Hopefully I get some responses. I'll read them at the end of the next show. But like I said, y'all attention span is short. Like people always say, I hate long albums. Why this album got 25 tracks? Why is this track 7 minutes long? Man, those be the best songs. Like you know how pissed I be when a song is like 2 minutes short and I'm enjoying it and it ends. Like I hate that. I rather have 25 tracks with 7 minute songs. That's all hits. And then 10 tracks with 2 minute songs. That's all hits. Like I never understood why y'all prefer shorter songs and shorter album lists. I like my stuff long. Wait, pause. Y'all know what I mean. I never get it. But look, that's it for today's episode of Bowie State Sports Talks. Thank you for staying tuned for the after show talk. It's been your boy Jalen Sims on the WBSU radio, and I'm out.